Hi fellow book lovers, Todd Debreceni here with another special makeup effects demo. Some of you may have seen my fall demo of Pogo, the chimpanzee in the Umbrella Academy. That was my take on the character. Well, this year it's characters from literature, and for LA BookFest Spring 2021, I'm doing my take on Frankenstein's monster from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So the first thing we need to do is prep the crepe wool, or the crepe hair that we're going to be using. It comes tightly braided, so you need to straighten it out, usually, unless you're making a beard. I put it in hot water for a minute or so to straighten it out, and then I wring it out in a towel to dry it, and then to get it completely dry, I put it in a fruit dehydrator that I bought several years ago for drying out prosthetic transfers, 3D transfers, and it works really well. Once it's dry, then you pull it out and you start separating the wool and blending the lighter and darker shades together so you can run it through a hackle, but you have to be really careful. The hackle is quite sharp. I think it was developed as a medieval torture device, so it's real easy to draw blood if you're not paying attention. But you draw it through the hackle to separate the hair and blend it even more so that it's easier to apply. And once I've got it separated through the hackle, I will wrap it up in little bundles and cover it with a little piece of tape and paper so it keeps it nice and tidy. And I make a lot of it because it's better to have it and not need it than it is to need it and not have it. And I go through a lot of this stuff when I'm hand laying hair, but you can save it and use it again later on. But be neat and organized so that you don't wind up finding little bits of crepe hair in everything, in your food, in your mouth. I wake up some mornings with crepe hair in my mouth, and it's not the most pleasant thing. The next thing is to seal a foam with a no-tack Pros-Aid, because the regular Pros-Aid adhesive is quite sticky when it's dry, but the no-tack has no tack. And it's really important to do that to foam latex because it's essentially sponge rubber, and if you're painting it, the foam will soak up the paint very easily. So sealing it helps prevent your foam latex from becoming a paint-laden sponge. Here I'm using Kryolan Aquacolor 522 and Mehron mixing liquid because the Mehron mixing liquid keeps the paint from smudging and wiping off when it's dry. You could also use Ben Nye Final Seal, which works really well, and it's got a nice minty smell, which is a plus. And this is a good base color for a cadaver because the 522 is very close to what an actual cadaver looks like color-wise. So I thought it would be a good base color for essentially a reanimated corpse, which is what Frankenstein's monster is. And I paint the whole piece, but I leave a small area about 1/4 of an inch around where there's no paint so that it's easier to blend the edges and the adhesive won't come loose with paint. The next step is to lay the crepe wool into the foam prosthetic so that you don't have to do it once it's on your actor, or you don't have to do as much once your actor's in the chair. Try to prepare as much as possible beforehand to minimize the length of time that your actor's going to be in the makeup chair. And I put it on in good bunches. I try to go back to front, following the way the hair would actually go. And then once it's dry, I'll go through it with a comb and a pick to loosen up the hair and get a bunch of it out, which I keep in bundles separate from the hackled hair so that I can thin it and use it again and run it through the hackle because you don't want to be wasteful with this stuff. And there it is. Now we're about ready to go on to part 2, where we will apply the foam latex pieces.